I'm here with Sharmila Mulligan, Executive Vice President at Aster Data, which is a new player in the analytic data warehousing market. Welcome,
Thank
Sharmila.
you, Wayne.
As a new player, a lot of folks don't know who you are right now. I was wondering if you could give a quick overview of Aster Data.
Absolutely. Aster Data is focused on what we call the big data management and advanced analytics space. Our goal is to make it easier for companies to manage large volumes of data very cost effectively and enable a new class of analytics that are richer in nature than what you were able to do with traditional BI tools and pre-existing solutions. Specifically, what we provide is a massively parallel database with an integrated analytics engine that allows you to run much faster and richer analytics on large volumes of data. The purpose of having an integrated analytics engine is to ensure that you can do very high-performance access to large volumes of data by eliminating the need to actually move data out of a database or data warehouse into a processing tier. So by co-locating data with processing, you're able to achieve much faster, much higher performing, richer analytics.
Terrific. So there's a lot of talk these days about analytics, really hot topic. We're seeing that among our audience here at TDWI. I was wondering if you could give the audience a sense of what kinds of analytic applications people are building with your technology and platform.
Great question, Wayne. We actually see three classes of applications, and what they fall into is the first class of applications have to do with deep customer intelligence and customer behavior. And a lot of companies now are trying to get a better handle on what they have in their customer data and looking at larger volumes of data versus relying on sampling, because when you sample, you typically miss certain data points, you miss outliers, you miss certain patterns in your data. So deep customer intelligence is one of the classes of use cases that we see, where you are looking at all your customer data and trying to identify customer behavior patterns, identify new trends, identify which customers are influencing others. So many different types of applications in the customer intelligence area. The second area where we see a lot of new applications being developed is around what we call event-triggered analytics. And in this case, what you're looking at is a specific event. It could be a credit card transaction, it could be a fraud event, it could be a marketing promotional event, and zeroing in on that event and identifying other activities around that particular event. So that's what we call event-triggered analytics, where you're really looking at a particular event and identifying other activity and more other patterns occurring around that particular event. The third class of applications have to do with systems and IT systems themselves, where companies are actually looking at network activity, looking at their servers, their log files, and looking at swarms of data that's being thrown off systems to identify various different activity happening on these systems, including any kind of security-related issues.
Oh, terrific.
Okay.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff that people are doing with your platform.
Yeah, and one thing they all have in common is the volume of data that one is looking at in all these three cases of applications and the speed of the analysis. So very high frequency analytics, very fast analytics. Often you're running these type of analytics every hour or every day.
Terrific. Now, how does your platform make it easier for customers to build these analytics, which perhaps they've done in the past? I assume in many cases these aren't new applications, but I also assume that you're making it easier for them to deploy and maintain these applications.
That's right. So as I mentioned earlier, Aster Data's platform is an MPP database with an integrated analytics engine. In order to make these new classes of applications possible, we have incorporated a technology called MapReduce that was first published by Google in 2004. MapReduce is a very powerful parallel processing framework that allows you to process large volumes of data very fast. What Aster Data has done is incorporated the MapReduce technology inside our DBMS, and we enable all of these analytics that I mentioned through what we call in-database analytics or in-database MapReduce, which means that all the procedural code associated with your analytics application is actually running in database. In order to make it possible to process large volumes of data, we are leveraging the MapReduce framework that is very effective in processing very, very large volumes of data. So in-database analytics is a core part of our solution and how we enable these very rich analytic applications. MapReduce is a core technology that is incorporated into the system that allows you to process data in new ways. So for instance, many of these applications I just mentioned require very ad hoc analysis or very interactive or iterative type of analytics. MapReduce is very good at doing that. SQL, for example, can be very constrained when it comes to doing this type of processing, and that's where MR brings a lot of value. What Aster Data has also done is make it very easy to adopt a new technology like MapReduce through what we call SQL MapReduce, where we coupled SQL with MapReduce so that the user within the organization is now actually still working with the SQL language that they're already familiar with, but underlying that, they are leveraging the power of the MapReduce technology. So we call this interface SQL MapReduce, and it's been very popular amongst our customer base because it makes it easy to adopt a new technology like MapReduce without having to learn the ins and outs of parallel programming.
One more question. It sounds like a powerful platform and technique. Can you give an example of one customer that's implemented this and the benefits they've reaped as a result?
Yeah, so I'll talk about one customer, ComScore. They are East Coast-based, very well-known public company. They measure the internet for ad agencies, marketeers, etc. They extensively use Aster. They are basically storing all the data in Aster, running very advanced analytics. An example of one of the applications is an application called MM360, which gives them a full sort of circular view into what their user base is actually doing. So again, tracking all the user behavior and understanding in sort of full circle what their users are actually doing with their data and accessing these type of systems. So ComScore is one example of the customer. MySpace also is a customer of Aster's, runs all the analytics and stores all their data in the Aster system.
Well, terrific. This sounds like a powerful new platform for doing data warehousing and analytics, and I'm glad you were here to tell our audience about it, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Wayne.